most people are building their online businesses completely backwards, and I want to break this down, tell you what I mean, and tell you what I do with my clients instead today. So, most people, when they are creating their business or refining their business or switching up their offer suite or rebranding, they tend to first look at their freebie. They tend to first look at, okay, what's the first touch point people are coming into my world? Maybe it's the freebie that they change up. Maybe it's their social media that they change up. Maybe it's the way they're doing podcasting, YouTubing, Instagram. They're really focusing on, I would say, those kind of external metrics of like, where's the traffic coming from? And that's kind of the main focus. And what I always focus on with my clients, whether we're working together private in one-on-one, or if we are working together inside of my Vibrant Year Mastermind, where it's literally a full year long and we're working together, it's basically one-on-one plus a group setting so that you're able to hear all the fucking genius from everybody else in the room who are experts in so many different things. What we actually focus on in those spaces and in 7-Figure Freedom Method, if you do self-paced in my world, is we actually look at first, what is the highest ticket end game final destination that you have for your most perfect, most ideal client. So looking at it that way, we actually work backwards and first figure out, okay, who is the exact person that this high ticket offer is for? So in my world, I only work with 2 or 3 one-on-one clients at a time, and so that's not actually what I use as my like end game. I actually use the Vibrant Year as my end game. That's where I want everyone to end up. Ideally, the place that I can help you get the biggest results in the shortest amount of time, in the most balanced and regulated nervous system kind of way, is the Vibrant Year. And so I really think about who is the most perfect fit for that space. Where exactly is that person at in their life, in their business, in their relationship, in their health? What are all the things that are coming up, not just in the area that I help them with, but in their day-to-day life? Like, what are their day-to-day thoughts that are coming up that would make it really, really obvious for that person that being in the Vibrant Year is their next best, smartest next step? That was a lot of words. What makes it so obvious to that person that that is the next place for them to be in? And then from there, I say, okay, so now for that person to get into the Vibrant Year, what kind of experience do they need to have with me in order to know that that's their next step? And what I've found through experimentation over about the last year and a half is that most of my Vibrant Year clients either need to hear my podcast, they need to hear me literally just fucking talk and rant and say things the way that I would say it. They don't need to hear me put together a perfect training. They don't need to hear me, like, they don't even need like a fully fledged signature program. Most of the time, they don't need 7-Figure Freedom Method, which is my signature course. Most of the time, they don't need that. Most of the time, what I find those clients need is either my podcast or one of my short-term, I would say low-ticket experiences, something around like $100 to $300, where the way that I most personally prefer doing these, there's a billion different ways to do it, but what I've found works the best for my energy and my channel and my preference of sharing information and teaching is running things in running a short-term Telegram space around one specific topic. And so this is how I did Sold Out Launch Frequency, which is $197, and I believe the first time we did it, it was like 7 days. And because I fucking love spaciousness, I didn't just do 7 days back to back, like Monday through Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever that would be. No, I didn't do that. I think I started it on like Wednesday or Thursday, skipped the weekend, took a few days off, and then did the other, 3 or 4 days. Like, I spaced it out in a way that works best for my energy. It works best for me to have breaks and to not just be requiring myself to be on every single day. Like, that's the best way for me to deliver results for my clients, and the best way for my clients to get results without feeling overwhelmed. This is also the same way that I ran signature offers that sell. This is the same way that I ran the Vibrant Alchemist Leadership Challenge. this is also the same way that I ran Abundant April. Like, there's so many different little mini programs that I ran like that. And it was so interesting to notice that those, like, short-term, quick sprint type of places are the thing that actually work best for my most ideal high-ticket client to upgrade, rather than them going through my freebie and then going through a low-ticket offer and then going through a self-paced mid-ticket offer and then coming into my high-ticket offer. So because I learned that that is what works best, I know that my funnel for my preferred high-ticket offer, which is the Vibrant Year, I know that the main thing I need to focus on is my podcast, going to things in person, whether that's events locally, or even literally just like meeting up with girlfriends who are entrepreneurs. Like, that's honestly been really phenomenal as well. Just like connecting with people in that way. Like, my freebie is not the thing that brings in those clients. I know I gotta focus on those two, and then both selling my past live short-term, like, low-ticket experiences that are like under $300, and or running those live. Like, those are the things that I know bring my people in to the Vibrant Year, and then obviously making sure there's plenty of awareness around the Vibrant Year and what it is and who it's for and how it's helpful. And so when I learned this, I already had 7-Figure Freedom Method. I already had multiple other programs that I've created over the last 10 years. I've got a lot of different options for people. But what I think is so good to know and good to remember and good to always remind yourself of is that just because you have something doesn't mean that that is the pathway to bring your clients into the offer that you actually want them to be in. So what I noticed after this experiment over the last year and a half is that because 7-Figure Freedom Method is not part of what brings people into my higher ticket offer, the Vibrant Year or one-on-one, that I actually see as a separate offer for a separate ideal client, and that's for the person who is probably never going to join the Vibrant Year. And this is good because I'm clear about it, which means I know that the way that I market 7-Figure Freedom Method is different than how I market the Vibrant Year. And it doesn't mean that it's impossible, that people who come into the 7-Figure Freedom Method will never upgrade to one-on-one or the Vibrant Year, because I have had that happen. That's just not the most common pathway. That's not the path of least resistance for my people. And this takes paying attention. It takes doing, like, repeating things multiple times, not just doing something once and being like, okay, I'm over it, I'm bored, I'm a manny-gen, I'm gonna go do something else now. I literally, the last 3 years, each year I've given myself parameters of focus within my business. That first year I was like, okay, I am running 7-Figure Freedom Method. This is the thing that I'm launching. This is the thing I'm promoting. This is the thing I'm talking about. This is the thing I'm going to run multiple times this year. I'm not focusing on anything else. Anything else that I create is leading people into 7-Figure Freedom Method. I did that for an entire fucking year. And then the Vibrant Year, I did the same thing for an entire fucking year. I talked about the Vibrant Year. I experimented with social media in different ways, like my messaging, to talk about the Vibrant Year. I went to different in-person events and figured out, like, okay, how do I communicate what this offer is? Every single other offer that I created or promoted, because I still promoted 7-Figure Freedom Method during that year, the intention was to lead all of it into the Vibrant Year. And then this third year, it's actually been kind of the same thing, because the first year for me was a lot of learning and refinement and just learning, learning of clarity around my voice and who I am and what I believe in and how I speak to my clients and how I speak to my audience, because this is something that I've been helping my clients with for a decade, but doing it for myself has felt a bit more elusive, a bit more like, how do I put this into words? What am I trying to say here? Who am I speaking to? Do I want to work with this client? Oh, I just worked with them? No, I don't want to work with that client. That's actually not an ideal client, but I thought that they were an ideal client for a year, but actually that's not an ideal client. Oh, now I'm working with this person and I see that that's an ideal client. Cool. Okay, let me speak to this person on all my platforms and then see how that changes my results. And so I hope that this just like clarified for you and gave you some ideas and some things to brainstorm and really think about, and notice how you might have been building your entire business backwards if you're focusing on social media first, if you're focusing on your freebies first, if you're focusing on like, okay, here's my social media, here's my freebie, here's the low ticket offer, here's a mid ticket offer, here's a high ticket offer, and this is the pathway that people must go through. Again, it's not because people aren't going to go through that, but it's because you're likely going to have a lot of people who are at different phases of their life with whatever it is that you help them with, who are very easily and happily going to be able to skip steps, who might not ever come into your freebie, but who will happily pay you 20, 40, 50, 100K for your highest ticket offer. There will definitely be people who do that. And when you start thinking about it the opposite way in reverse engineering, when you start thinking about it from the perspective of, here's my high ticket offer, who is this for? Let me make sure that everything else in my entire offer suite, everything else on my social media is speaking to that person. And that way, the other people who come in, all these other offers are just catching them. All these other offers that I have that exist for people who are not that ideal client who's going to come into the high ticket, this is the way that I give them other accessible options. And I know this is something that's so important to healers especially. I know this has been a really big kind of like sticking point with the business that I run with my husband, is me being very happy and willing and able and comfortable with creating high ticket offers and charging high ticket, and him wanting to really make sure that things stay accessible. And the thing is, you get to have both. You get to have really high ticket offers that are very exclusive, that are only for a small select group of people, and you get to have offers that are either self-paced, or that you have co-facilitators or co-coaches running, or that you're not having your live energy and attention in constantly. And something so fucking cool is that something that I really believed for years now is that for the kind of people who really, really love doing one-on-one work, like that's the kind of work that fuels you. That's not me. I'm not that kind of person. But I know that some people genuinely are that way. And a belief that I had for a long time around this could be a whole other podcast episode, but I just want to like quickly drop this in here for you guys if you've been thinking about it. I thought for the longest time that there was not a way to scale your business using one-on-one. And I know now that that's not true. I've seen someone who's doing something so fucking brilliant, and she has a mastermind where one day a week she pops in. Well, I think she might be in there 2 or 3 days in a week. But anyway, there's like a set number of clients that she has in that mastermind, and each person has their own one-on-one channel. And one day a week, they get to have one-on-one time with that mentor. And I just think it's so, and she's a healer, and I think it's so fucking brilliant because it allows her to be able to work with way more people than she could one-on-one if it was in person. I mean, even if it was online and she was doing Zoom calls, because everyone has their own chat space, but then they also have the mastermind where they're able to support each other and they get access to all of her courses. And it's just such a testament of like, you can really create whatever the fuck you want as long as you get clear on what it is that you want and what it is that energizes you and fuels you and makes you light up, because that's going to be your path of least resistance in growing your business. It's not going to be following someone else's formula for step by step exactly how to build a 7-figure business. And guess what? That's what I teach. And it's not because it doesn't work. The way that I teach it is making sure that you're really bringing in all of this. You're really bringing in like what works best for you. What are your true dreams? What is your dream lifestyle? What are the things that you're wanting to create in the world? And how can we do that in the path of least resistance in a way that really deeply supports you, your family, your lifestyle, your clients, and also allows you to make a fuck ton of money in the process while staying rich and rested and regulated. Really. So as always, let me know how this landed. Send me a message on Instagram, leave a comment on this podcast episode, and just let me know what really stood out to you, what blew your mind, what felt like a good reminder. I love to hear it all.